Welcome, everybody. It's your girl Delores, just a pink girl in my pink world, here on every social platform. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Hit the Bros podcast, and let's get some small cleaning out the way. First of all, to all the dads out there, real fathers, happy Father's Day. Also, I like to shout out to the women who are the mom and the dad. Okay, you deserve it all. So to those great dads and fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Also, I'm glad today is Father's Day because J News, I ain't got to share my birthday with Father's Day this year. So, but this year, I do want to say thank you all to who all sent out some wonderful messages. I got some gifts and different things. I wanted to personally take the time to wish you uh, many more blessings. And I appreciate you all telling me happy birthday. So, with that being said, okay. J News and I only have one topic this week. So we're gonna get through it pretty quickly. We only got 2 weeks to go by. I haven't talked to J News yet, but we gotta check and see about next week because there are some pay-per-views. And I'll be watching one of them live and we'll be talking about it in the preview. All right, let's go on to the topic studio. He didn't want to put me and J News over here. Like we the people need to be over here. As you see in the background, the topic for today is TNA wrestling. Okay, they've had a lot of changes and departures going on, and so with that being said, we want to talk about some of them. As you all know, earlier this year, as you see, Steve Macklin, Danny Luna, Mila Grace, and the Rascals all left. But recently, this week, we had Tommy Dreamer, who they said was creative and talent relations departure. It was a mutual split, they said. Sammy Callahan was part of the roster, quote unquote, roster reductions. He's a former world champion. Tessa Blanchard left to go to CMLL. Um, she really wasn't doing nothing. And as you all know, I call her TB because she make me sick. Luke Perrin, is that how I pronounce it right, Janice? Was released during the workforce reduction. And then we got talents we need to definitely watch out for that might be coming on the market, which is Mike Santana, because his contract is due, I think, in July. Rich Swan, we don't really know his status with TNA. Also, we don't know the status of Eric Young. So, J News, what did you feel about these people who have left and who are coming back?
Yeah. Also to add Leon Slater to that list as well. His contract coming up soon at the end of August. Most don't necessarily know where he's going to go. There's been a lot of different rumors and conjectures said about him and stuff like that. But yeah, Leon Slater is part of that list as well. Within the last week or so, just to um, comment on the most recent releases and stuff like that, I found it very surprising, especially with how long Tommy Dreamer's been involved with TNA over the last couple of years and things of that nature, and him being head of creative. How him walking away from the company or being released by the company came about as well. Like you said, it was said to be mutual and things of that nature, but um, it just seemed kind of weird for a lot of people in the pro wrestling space for him to get his release. Sammy Callahan as well, former in-ring competitor and also a part of um, the creative aspect of TNA as well. Um, that was not as surprising to some folks because, according to some rumors out there, he was part of the reason as to why Steve Macklin also asked for his release, and that whole angle that they shot with Steve Macklin and their owner Carlos Silva, when Macklin called him a CUCK on TV, and supposedly Sammy Callahan has something to do with that. Who knows at this point? But that seems to be the rumored part of it. All the talent that's been let go since the beginning of the year, and most recently as well. Um, just it just doesn't feel very positive for where TNA is sitting right now, and how things are going. Even though they got a new TV deal and they're on AMC every Thursday with all these different departures, it just doesn't bode very well from an optic standpoint. Outside of that, um, they I think over the week, even though they had a release, they did sign someone to an extension. I forget who it was. I think it was one of the members of the Elegance brand, if I'm not mistaken, signed some sort of a contract extension with them, and Tasha Steeles did as well. So it just right now it just looks kind of um, things don't look like they're going in the right direction with TNA. That's all I have to say about that. But not everyone seems to be leaving, but at the same time, more some of their more prominent acts are the ones who have been taking the heed to either not resign or ask for the release or just bounce all in general. So just doesn't look good. But what about you, Dolores? What do you think about what's going on with TNA?
Uh, I was ready for TB to leave anyway because watching her every week made me sick. Sammy Callahan, the quote unquote rumor that he set this thing up. Some people on the internet need to be realistic. And when I say that, for you to say that you don't believe he would have done this is the same man who ran the show where we had a man pretend to sniff a powdery substance on camera. So I'm to believe he did that, but he ain't gonna do something where somebody call somebody to see you next Tuesday. Um, I, come on, wrestling fans, uh, we gotta, we gotta, we gotta be real. We gotta be real. It's like I feel as though sometimes people don't understand the how things come off the beat towards people sometimes, and how things can be uh taken away. Also, for those who don't know and are seeing me from a new spot, we are live on my TikTok. We're trying to get our TikTok going, and we're live on my Patreon. We because we're going worldwide with this. So because I saw some people and I'm like, oh, we're new. So this is the thing. I think TNA Wrestling went to AMC and they're still crappy. I thought things were gonna change. They're not. It's still like we putting on house shows as a production. Also, the owner being petty, especially during WrestleMania weekend and different things, that did not help. So, at a certain point, what do you say to? What do you say? What do you say to somebody? Like, what do you say? Your product is not doing well. You're pushing people who should be pushed. You signed TB when everybody was against her. Sammy was already going downhill. You have characters like PCO who are not doing well at all. You are you pushed out Gail Kim. What's her name? Nick Allen's wife, I forgot her name. Hardcore Country. You pushed her out.
Mickey James.
Mickey James, you pretty much pushed her out. Like you took all the good things she brought and tossed it to the side. I can't honestly tell you the last time I've been like, oh my God, I watched the TNA show and it was so great. The pay-per-views are like doing like nails on a chalkboard. So and for those who are wondering, we talked about it last week, I think. The TNA against NXT and AEW. Who do I put in last place? TNA. I think NXT will do better. And then they have people like the Hardys. That's the thing about it. They have people like the Hardys, and yet can't. They have good talent and don't know how to use them. And the craziest thing is that you see these talents come into GCW, HOG, and different places and are used very, very well. It's in TNA that they're not being used. And then WWE is sending talent over to try to, when they were really heavily in the merger, trying to, not merger, but working together, trying to get them a little boost. And for every good thing that happened, 29 bad things happened after that. That's what frustrates me about TNA. When are we gonna say that they just gonna be like this for the rest of their life? Because they've had chances with AEW, they've had chances on different platforms, they've had chances with WWE, they've had chances working with indie companies, and they all can't get their together. And that's what frustrates me. Because you ever seen a company that you watched for years who's been really good and now is really bad? Now, if you ask me, is TNA horrible to the point where I'm not going to watch? I'm never going to say that, okay? Because also I watch it because between me and J News, I think I'm the only one going to watch it. But they are still above NWA. I'm never going to watch that. Never, never, never. I might see a clip, but I'm never going to watch it. TNA is above that. But they keep sinking down to that level, and they about to be evenly close. Because you watch these shows, they dragging out, the matches are not the greatest, the things are not happening. It's like, what's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of this? And I believe a lot of people are gonna leave TNA, especially with this access to WWE. I believe NXT Sean is more flexible. If back in the day, or even today, even with, let's just say, Triple H, you can't walk up on somebody, even if you work for them, and say, hey, I'm such and such, nice to meet you, da da da, and have a conversation. I have seen on fan video and regular video Sean get walked up on and speak to people. And also say, oh, reach out, da da da, such and such, take their number or whatever like that. They feel like this is an open door opportunity to leave. And I don't blame them. A lot of people had that open opportunity with AEW. They left. So I don't blame them for that. What I do blame them for is you keep getting these opportunities. You keep trashing it. You keep not listening to the fans or the people who are booking these things that are trying to tell you the right thing to do. And I believe that at this point in moment, nobody is going to continue to keep watching a product that does not service them. I mean, J News, I understand what you call it, gimmick wrestling and different things, but for me, PCO takes it to the limit. The man is about 60 years old with bolts in his neck, almost breaking his neck every time we see him in the match. They have unalived him 69 times and he gets right back the next week. They only get 2 weeks he missing. He literally goes missing and wakes back up the next day and he's there. So for me, TNA it's sad because I remember the days. Listen, I know people hate the days when like Booker T and Kevin Nash and them were there. I enjoyed myself, okay, because I'm into like goofiness sometimes. I love my hardcore wrestling. I love my high flying wrestling, but I also love a little bit of funniness. You know what I'm saying? So like Booker T stumping somebody down and talking smack on the mic as he's kicking them. It's funny to me. But now we taking it to a point where it's like we've been back to the Hardy compound. I don't know how many times. They've tried to put every old trick in the book back and it's not working. And you literally brought that lady back who's now decided to go to CMLL. So I'm assuming eventually she might appear on AEW TV. I don't know, but she might.
I highly doubt that, but yeah.
I don't know. You know, let me say, America loves a good reform story.
Yeah, but it's Tony's company at the end of the day, and secondarily,
I mean, he's giving some people some shots that I was like,
right.
Yeah.
But to finish the point I was about to make, if they didn't put Jay Briscoe on TV, they're not going to put Tessa Blanchard on TV. So that's kind of the end of the story with that.
I mean, she could have I would say ROH run.
No, that didn't happen. they've had all the opportunity in years to do that by now, and they haven't taken that, so they're not going to at the end of the day. So it is what it is with her specifically. She made her decision. She made her, as a matter of fact, just as a piece of information for the folks who are watching, she made her own explanation video as to why she chose CMLL over TNA. If folks are interested in watching that, that's on YouTube. She has her own YouTube channel as to why she chose CMLL over TNA. But I wouldn't expect her to show up on AEW television at all. For all intents and purposes, Tony does what he does, but WBD, as in Warner Brothers Discovery, ultimately has the last say as to who ends up on TV, and they're not going to take the risk from a PR standpoint with her if they didn't take a risk with Jay Briscoe or the young man who's a part of the Rascals, Trey Miguel. So they're not going to want to deal with that with her specifically. So she'll probably continue her career over in CMLL. You'll probably I agree with some folks who say that we might end up seeing her on MLW at the end of the day. So if people want to see her stateside, that might be a place that she might be seen. But outside of that, yeah, I don't see her being on big time national TV like AEW or WWE or anything like that.
Well, I would say this. Also, I need wrestlers to be real. If everybody's getting fired, let go, released, and they're not using you no more, that should be a warning sign. I know she know that was a warning sign because she hasn't been being used like that lately. She come up on a pay-per-view here and there, television show here and there. She's not used like she was in the beginning. She knew her time was coming. She chose to leave before she got fired. I respect that, but say that. And then to say, I chose CMLL, I think that was the only choice you had. Because really, you knocked the indies and you've made enemies of indie people. WWE ain't taking you. Now WWE owns AAA, they not taking you. AEW, on first glance, ain't gonna take you. If CMLL is the only place that's gonna take you, see, like that's the only place you can go. I hate when people do that stuff when they try to make it. You know what? Like that's like me knowing at J News, I'm gonna get fired tomorrow, but I'm gonna walk in the office today and be like, I quit. You know what? I'm not gonna do this anymore. Okay, I'm not gonna take this type of work from you. Okay, and then I walk around and tell everybody I quit my job. Okay, them other people got fired, but I quit my job. You know why? Because I know better. No, I knew I was gonna get fired. I just want to save face. And I see wrestlers do it all the time. all the time. I respect wrestlers that when nobody's getting fired, when nothing is happening, they take the time to say, "Hey, I want to leave." She didn't say this months ago. She didn't say this weeks ago. She said this around the time everybody get fired. And you know, in the wrestling world, it catches on fire from the top to the bottom when the firing is about to happen. Sean Ross Sapp knows when people about to get fired before they know they about to get fired. So she got on this thing. I chose CMLL, and it made me want to be sick because I'm like, lady, you ain't have no other choice. And I don't even know why CMLL took you back. Took you, period. For the things you said, for the things you've done. It's like, what part of that was, I don't know. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, everybody, Patreon, we have more topics, but this is a lot. They had a lot of changes and things, and we wanted to talk about it. So, the Clock app, the people on Patreon and Facebook and everywhere else, we are gonna have more topics next week because we know it's gonna be a lot more miss express, especially coming from TNA. Especially after Slammiversary, because I gotta watch that bullshit. Okay. But now it's time for us to review the past 2 weeks. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it was right before my birthday. J News said he couldn't make it, and I was like, you know what? Nah, I said the cat, and so I took a good rest to get over it. Hold on, they said they can't hear us. They can't hear us. Peach, Peach, you can't hear us. Hold on, Peach, Peach. See, can you hear us now, Peach? Can you hear us now? So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've talked about TNA, and now we're going into. It's time for what? It's time for review. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start off and bring me and J News. I was like, I don't see J News in the back with me. There we go. We're gonna start off with WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, remember we're gonna do 2 weeks. So the week before last and this week, we'll be reviewing the 2 weeks for each company that we go into. Okay. So let me get this up, J News, so I can make sure I get them to the right place. There we go. We're gonna go for Raw. WWE. We're gonna start with Raw. Raw 1724 on the 8th of June. We had a non-title Queen of the Ring 2026 first round fatal four-way match where Liv Morgan defeated Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, and Chelsea Green. Or as I said, Chelsea Green. Ladies and gentlemen, we have for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Title match, Sol Ruka defeating Lara Valkyria. For the WWE Intercontinental Title match, we had Penta defeating Rey Mysterio. For the King of the Ring Men's Fatal Four-Way match, we had Javon Evans defeating Ricky Saints and Seth Rollins and Tala Tonga. You got anything about this show you want to talk about, J News?
No, not specifically. The WWE product has not been something I've been watching as of late, if I'm being completely honest. I've been trying to keep track with what's been going on from a booking standpoint and trying to make sense of it, but like watching the stuff and telling you as to, if matches were good or if things looked a certain way, I wouldn't be able to tell you yes or no at this point. So.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes. Now we're on to the next week's episode, which was last Monday. It was episode 1725 on the 15th. Ladies and gentlemen, we had the Queen of the Ring 2026 semifinal match where Io Sky defeated Raquel Rodriguez. We had Chad Gable defeat Rusev. We had Charlotte Flair defeated Roxanne Perez. Javon Evans and Austin Theory ended in a DQ. And for the King of the Ring men's semifinal match, that man, Oba Femi, beat down Dominic Mysterio. Okay. On to NXT. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 weeks for NXT. We're going to start off on the 9th on episode 841. Now, remember, I forgot to tell you all, WWE Raw is on Netflix. NXT is on the CW. So next week, we're going to have a show on Saturday, which will be on ESPN, and then a show that will be on the CW. So everybody can join in and watch. Ladies and gentlemen, the episode on 841 on the CW on the 9th, Fraxium, which is Axiom and Nathan Frazier, defeated Noam Dar and Romeo Moreno. We had the WWE NXT title #1 contendership match. J News, I pronounce this wrong every time since he done been here. Because I want to call him evil. The Raku.
Yep, that's how you say it.
See? I've been practicing J News while you was gone last week. I had to get it together. Naraku defeated Mason Rook. We had for the WWE NXT Women's title #1 contendership match. Kendall Gray defeating Kalani Jordan. We had Dion Lennox defeat Jasper Troy. And a title change for the Women's North American title match where Zarya defeating Tatum Paxley. For the NXT episode 842 on the 16th, which was my birthday. I didn't watch this. I had to go back the other day to watch this. For the NXT North American title #1 contendership match, Tavion Heights defeating Jackson Drake. For the WWE Women's Speed title #1 contendership tournament semifinal match, we had Izzy Dane defeat Thea Hale. Quote, because J News, I've been watching it. I am still pro get rid of this doggone speed title. I'm sick of it. In a good match to me, Natty defeated Jada Parker. We're going to see a character change for Jada next J News. WWE Women's Speed title #1 contendership tournament semifinal match. We saw Ariana Grace defeat Layla Diggs. We had Kendall Gray and Lola Vice defeat Kalani Jordan and Zarya. Now we're on to SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. SmackDown was on the first week we're going to cover is on the 12th. It was $13.99, ladies and gentlemen. And it was a non-title Queen of the Ring 2026 first round fatal 4-way match where Charlotte Flair defeated Jade Cargill and Laura Valkyria and Sol Ruka. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, I'm gonna politely put me and J News up here. I don't know if you saw my good sis, Jade Cargill's nightmare came true, J News. When Charlotte ripped her wig off mid-match. And she had made, if you all have not seen her, she had been on the Joe Budden show, and they said, what's your fear? Like, you fear breaking bones or something? And she said, no, I fear that my wig will come off. And at that moment, I'll have to quit wrestling because that would be too embarrassing for me to ever get over. And her fear came true. And she even tweeted that her fear came true live. I think that's why she had that little band this week. Make sure she secured that thing tight. As somebody who don't wear wigs, because I got my own natural hair, I wear braids from time to time. Ma'am, you need to secure that better because the way that thing slipped straight off, it slipped off initially when they were on the top rope, J News. It slipped all the way off. And then she pulled it back, and then Charlotte did the suplex off the top rope, and then it kept coming off. And so that was the highlight. That's funny. That was the highlight of this show. That's what went viral around the world on this show, J News. Did you see it?
No, I wasn't aware of this, but from a historical standpoint, having to do with Charlotte, not saying that Ash would do this purposely, but she's been notorious for doing this with other women wrestlers who have
she's a wig snatcher.
Wigs or extensions in their hair. She's notorious for pulling at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, to each his own. Jade Cargill should be more
I
careful and
think
things
J
of that
News, the
nature.
reason why this went viral is not that the wig just came off, but how can I explain it without sounding harsh? She had her hair was very kinky and it was pulled back, and she has, I did not know because she wears wigs all the time, a large forehead. So it looked like she was pretty much bald like this. Then she had kinky hair from there back. And that's what it was. It was a very shocking moment, J News, because she did not look good at all. And it was bad. Like I'm assuming she, because it had never happened to her, she had got comfortable with not redoing the braid down. And this time she got caught slipping. But it's okay, Jenny. I mean, and they took it from every fans posted it from every angle. They zoomed in. They had her face. She was trying to pull her wig as Charlotte was trying to pin her. It was bad. But she will rise again, J News. Let's all go back to the back.
It happens. I'll say this though, because I remember seeing photos of her on Instagram years before she hit the wrestling scene, and she would rock her natural short hair. It's not like it looked bad or anything like that. But to your point, Dolores, depending as to how she goes about things before, like prepping her natural hair before putting the wig on and stuff like that, like you got to be careful with that. Like my world ran into that problem on Collision last night, where the extensions in her wig were coming out and then it was slipping off half the damn time. And it's like sometimes the ladies who wear the extensions or the wigs and stuff like that, y'all need to know or do a little better with it. Just because it's either going to be too much hair to deal with, or if it's not on, if you're going to be sweating profusely out there, it's just not going to stay on at the end of the day. So wear something shorter or lighter at the end of the day, because the heavier stuff is just not going to work for you, and you're going to end up in a situation like Jay did on Friday, from what you're explaining to me, Dolores, and what transpired with Maya World yesterday. It didn't come completely off, but she kept on having to adjust too much during the match, and I was like, y'all need to stop
What's
this
that
mess.
lady? It's not Maya World, is it? It's that lady on the Indies that I remember when I first came on. I was like, her wig slips off all the time, and it's become like her trademark thing now. Like
I
mid
forget who it is.
match,
I know who you're talking about, but I forget the name of
yeah,
the
I
girl. Yeah,
think her name starts with an M too. And her wig slips off every match. And at first, you could tell she was shocked, like that wasn't supposed to happen. Now it's a thing that she just
yeah,
incorporated
it's her gimmick.
into
Yeah.
her shows.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe Jay, that's the thing. You might need to be the wig lady who lose your wig. But it was not a good look. I would not do her dirty and put this on camera. That's the thing I'll say to Jay Dudes afterwards. Ladies, ladies and gentlemen, we had a non-title match where Brie Bella and Paige defeated Fatal Influence of Fallon Henley and Laney Reed. We had a AAA World Cruiserweight title match where Ray Phoenix defeated Axiom. B-Fab and Mi Chin defeated Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton. And King of the Ring 2026 first round final four match, Jey Uso defeated Finn Balor, LA Knight, and Royce Keys, which I was kind of shocked because I thought he would be doing some more Uso, you know, Roman Reigns stuff. Because generally when they pushing Roman Reigns, everybody got to fall in line. Ladies and gentlemen, so what happened Friday, the 19th on the USA Network, we had for the US Undisputed WWE match, special referee Sami Zayn, ladies and gentlemen. Cody Rhodes defeated Gunther, which now we're going to have a three-way at Night of Champions because of this and the shenanigans that happened in the middle of it. Undisputed WWE, they ran it again, and Gunther defeated Cody by DQ. So that's why we get the three-way. We have the WWE Tag Team title match with Damian Priest and R-Truth defeated the MFTs of Tala Tonga and Tama Tonga. We have the United States title number one contendership match where Ricky Sayes defeated Carmelo Hayes. We have then now the little promo they had back and forth leading up to this was a little dry, but it was a little bit more exciting than what we normally been getting from both of them separately. King of the Ring 2026 men's semifinal match. We had Jey Uso defeating Javon Evans. And in the women's semifinal match, we had Liv Morgan defeating Charlotte Flair. Again, shenanigans is what got Charlotte to lose. On to J News' favorite time of the just joking. It's AAA. We had AAA last week, which was a 2-on-1 handicap match where Galeno defeated. That's a J News. Got see J News. Galio and Golden Jacket. See, you need a friend like J News who can speak other languages. El Fiscal, La Parca, and Octagon Jr. defeated Los Vipers of Abismo Negro Jr., Hysteria, and Taurus. We had 3-on-1 handicap match. Almost, he stomped down Chris Carter, Damio, and Kingo. That's how you pronounce it. AAA World Mixed Tag Team title match. Lola Vice and Mr. Iguana defeated Joaquin Wild and La Hedra. Okay. On to this week's that happened yesterday. We had El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. and Minnie Vikingo defeat El Hijo del Vikingo and Omos. Listen, I was very, very shocked. This is one of those AAA things that a 7-foot tall man and a man who can fly in the air and almost touch the sky got beat by a short, stubby man and a mini person. AAA booking. AAA World Cruiserweight title triple threat match. Ray Phoenix defeated Laredo Kid and Lindsay Dorado. Listen, Ruby, if you can see me on TikTok, Ruby, I love you. Also, and she also on YouTube. She be everywhere. Get you some friends. Get you some friends like this. Also, get you a J News. That's what you need. Ladies and gentlemen.
They also just to wrap up this particular episode of AAA on Fox. They also had a talking promo segment for El Grande Americano. They ran an angle where El Grande Americano basically went out of his way to tell the AAA fan base and everybody watching that he's going to be going after the AAA Megacom Championship. So he called out Dominic Mysterio. After he called out Dominic Mysterio, there was a strange long pause during production and whatnot. And then he, as in El Grande Americano, was surrounded by different wrestlers who came out of the crowd. We had Los Garzas. We had the young dude from OTM who was a part of that crew as well, and Carmen Petrovic, which was the initial person that El Grande Americano saw come down the aisleway. Hi, Ruby. Hey, Tan as well. Sorry. But had young Carmen Petrovic from NXT. She came down the regular aisleway. She was in Grande Americano's eye line of eye vision and stuff like that, and then he got surrounded by those other wrestlers that I'm talking about now. Los Garzas. What is this dude's name? He's one half of the OTM tag team on NXT. Bronco Lima. There you go, Bronco Lima. And Daga made his return to AAA as well. They beat down El Grande Americano. And at the end of it all, they all had black hoodies on. They all unzipped their hoodies, and they all had Perros del Mal t-shirts on. For folks who have no knowledge of AAA history, Perros del Mal is one of the long-standing factions of AAA. Los Perros del Mal were originated by El Perro Guayo and Perro Guayo Jr., who have both. Perro Guayo Jr. unfortunately passed during a match. They were there with Rey Mysterio. Los Garza's uncle, Hector Garza, was an original member of Los Perros del Mal as well, which is fitting that family lineage is still involved in Perros del Mal, and then with the addition of Bronco Lima and Carmen Petrovic, who did a Robinson special on on Grande Americano there to end the segment. That's an interesting choice. I know Bronco Lima is of Mexican descent, so that's cool. Not trying to say anything racially about it, but I mean from an overall, I guess, global aspect, um, it's it's uh, it's acceptable to use a lesser term. Daga has been around AAA for a long period of time. For folks who don't know, he's been in and out of AAA for many years. He had most recently been wrestling on Noah over in Japan. He also did stints with Lucha Underground, and he's actually had some matches with AEW over the years as well, and stuff like that. And then of course, Los Garzas, who is Umberto and Angel, who have their family lineage intertwined in Mexican lucha libre lore and all that stuff. So uh, they're the new, or the more, should I say, they're now a reestablished faction in AAA. They're a heel faction, obviously, and they were there to take out El Grande Americano.
Yes, that was. I mean, most of the show was like promos and um video packages and stuff like that. So they keep it pretty short. You might get a show here and there where it's like long, but the live shows be really short as far as matches are concerned. Back to the back, me and J News go, and we're on to AEW, All Elite Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start off with Dynamite. We're gonna start off on Dynamite, which comes on TBS, HBO Max. This is episode 349 on the 10th. John Moxley defeated Shane Taylor. We had Mark Briscoe defeat Pac. Andre, Andre, on, come on, Dolores, say it. Andre Andrade, El Idolo. See, listen, I'm telling you, you get old, start having mini strokes and stuff, and you're old, and you just all of a sudden your tongue just go crazy. Defeated Orange Cassidy, Owen Hart Foundation 2026 Women's Tournament quarterfinal match. Maya World defeated Sky Blue. On Hart Foundation 2026 Tournament semifinal match. Swerve Strickland defeated Brody King. You got anything to say about this episode, J News?
Just wanted to say that this particular episode of Collision was very solid. I'm forgetting the promo parts of it right now, but I was glad to see Shane Taylor get a match against John Moxley. Shane Taylor Promotions, as a faction and as a group, have been getting a lot of spotlight lately because of their feud with the Death Riders currently, and the match between Shane Taylor and John Moxley I thought was a good showcase for Shane Taylor and whatnot. The Mark Briscoe versus Pac match, that was more leading into what was going on, or what's going on for Forbidden Door for Mark Briscoe as he continues to want to challenge for the AEW Championship against MJF. So this win over Pac helped him in that particular regard. Andrade still looking great in his matches in whatever capacity, if it's singles or tag matches. Fun match that he had there with Orange Cassidy. A surprise win here for Maya World as well in the quarterfinal match. Maya World taking Sari's place in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Sari, unfortunately, was not able to wrestle her match against Sky Blue due to a neck injury that she has still to recover from. Maya World won that match there via pinfall over Sky Blue. It was a surprise to many because of a tragic tragedy that had happened in Maya World's life. Her older brother had passed away due to some sort of a car accident, I believe, or an accident on the road, if I'm not mistaken. That had happened the night before Dynamite aired, and no one necessarily knew if she was going to be, available due to the events and stuff like that. But she decided to come to work She filled in for Cerise. She got her win over Sky Blue, and what was a decent match. It was, I think, it was Sky. For Sky Blue herself, it was a good showing as well. Maya World defeated her. She went on there. Swerve Strickland and Brody King continuing to try to prove to one another who the most dangerous man in AEW is. Swerve Strickland won out in this particular affair, continuing him to go forward in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament.
Yes, and sending condolences to Maya World because that had to be very difficult. Also, was explained that the only reason she got into wrestling, similar to Charlotte, was because of her brother, and to lose him like that, it was heartbreaking. And also, it was kind of that was a new way of doing things. Normally, we hear it from commentators, as somebody's coming out or after a match, but to see Renee standing there and talking about it, and also Renee donating to the GoFundMe that is out there for Maya World and her family, was totally heartwarming to see that when AEW supports, they support. And so that's good to see that there are good people out there. J News gonna come back to the back with me, and we're gonna go on to episode 350 on the 17th. Kenny Omega defeated Tony Nese. Brodito of Bandito and Brody King defeated Death Riders of Daniel Garcia and John Moxley. We had the Owen Hart Foundation women's semifinal match where Mercedes Moné defeated Hazuki. We had a 12-man tag team match where Don Callis' family of Andrade El Idolo, Jack Doyle, Kazuchika Okada, Kevin Knight, and Kyle Fletcher, along with MJF, defeated Darby Allin, Konosuke Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, the conglomeration of Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong. J News, you got anything to say about this episode?
Just to pare it down as best as I can to start the show, we got a backstage promo in which MJF decided to let the world know which members of the Don Callis family he would be choosing to go into this 12-man cage match coming up at Forbidden Door. He chose the members of the Don Callis family, who were the members who also participated in this 12-man tag at the end of the show here. It was left up towards the end of the show to let the fans and the viewing audience know as to who was going to be a part of Mark Briscoe's team. And eventually we got the reveal of Darby Allin and Takeshita being part of the team along with the rest of the conglomeration for Mark Briscoe's side. So that went down. Kenny Omega versus Tony Nese was a short match. Very unexpected. Kenny Omega to open the show yet again against Tony Nese in a quick showing there. They then did a promo segment after the match that included members of TMDK that came down, the Mighty Don't Kneel, of Zack Sabre Jr., that bad dude Tito, and Mikey Nichols. If folks don't know, for Forbidden Door, we have a match that's set up, which is going to be Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. going one-on-one. So there was supposed to be, I thought there was supposed to be a sort of a promo exchange between TMDK, or at least Zack Sabre Jr. and Kenny Omega, and there wasn't. Kenny did the majority of the talking, and ZSJ just did a lot of facial and body reaction sort of stuff towards Kenny Omega. So Kenny Omega, by the end of this promo exchange, was almost outnumbered, and then the members of the Elite, that being the Young Bucks and Jungle Jack Perry, came out to make sure that nothing happened to Kenny Omega. Brodito made their return. They hadn't tagged in quite some time, so they made their return against the Death Riders there. They announced via backstage promo, I think it was pre-match, or I'm forgetting if it was before the match or after the match, but Bandito is going to go one-on-one against John Moxley for Forbidden Door for the Continental Championship. So this match was basically used as a precursor for that, for the Owen Hart Foundation semi-final match. Mercedes Moné versus Suzuki These two young ladies have great chemistry together. This second match, for whatever it is, folks said that it wasn't better than the first one. It took some time for me to get into the match while I was watching it live, but it did. It did eventually get to where it needed to get to, and the ladies had a terrific match. Mercedes Moné got the win over Hazuki here, and she goes on to the finals of the Women's Owen, and then the 12 man match that happened here to end the show was just it was all over the place. It was a clusterfuck, and shenanigans came about, and the Don Callis family ended up winning the match here, which didn't give them any sort of advantage for the cage match, I don't think. So there's that. But yeah, more building towards Forbidden Door here on this episode of Dynamite.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, J News coming to the back with me because we going over to Ring of Honor, ROH. Ladies and gentlemen, the first episode we're going to talk about is episode 170 on the 11th. You can find it at the ROH Wrestling app or ROHWrestling.com. And sometimes they have episodes on YouTube. Not for sure. I thought I saw an episode this week, but I couldn't remember. Ladies and gentlemen, we had Top Flight Dante and Darius Martin defeat the premier athletes of Ari Daivari and Tony Nese. We had Shane Taylor Productions, Charlie Bravo, Shane Taylor, and Sean Dean defeat the Colognes of Eddie and Orlando Colon along with Serpentico. We had Mason Madden defeat Teriyaki. Ace Austin defeated Mansoor. Red Velvet and Zeta Steel defeated the inspiration of Cassie Lee and Jesse McKay. Action Andretti defeated, can't pronounce that word, So
It's so late.
Soleil. Why I do every time I go to say Soleil, I be looking at the word and I'm like, no, that's not. That's another pet peeve with some of these new wrestlers. Stop having these non-long, crazy names. Keep it simple. Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Action Andre, yeah, we talked about that. Billy Starks defeated Robert Renegade, Eddie Kingston, and Ortiz back together. I enjoyed them together. Defeated the workhorsemen Anthony Henry and JD Drake. ROH World Title Proving Ground match. Bandito defeated Angelico. Do you have any things about this episode, J News?
Yeah, I watch ROH regularly now due to the fact that it's on my AEW, on the my AEW app. So I'm a subscriber to the my AEW app. So all the ROH Honor Club and YouTube episodes are on my AEW as well. Plus, a lot of different indie promotions have started to put their live streams and shows on my AEW. It seems like my AEW is taking the place of Trilogy CD for lack of a better term. As per this particular
so you're
show,
gonna have me get another app. That what you're trying to say, Jay?
well, you're gonna have to get rid of Triller anyways. They're going out of business. So
yeah, I know that. That sounds like
replace
Jesus.
that. So there's that of it. As per this show, though, the standout matches, to be fair here, stood out to me during the show. Action Andretti versus Soleil, I thought was a very entertaining match with their particular and unique styles. I thought Billy Starks and Robert Renegade went at it with their match here on this episode of Honor Club. Eddie Kingston and Ortiz versus the Workhorsemen. Quite the battle. To be fair to both tag teams there. It's taken me a while to get used to Eddie and Ortiz being together as a tag team, but it's working. Bandito versus Angelico was a hell of a match as well. So shout out to everybody there on that episode of Honor Club.
Yes. Now we're gonna go on to the next week. Jana's gonna come back in with me. We're gonna go on to episode 171 on the 18th. We had ROH World Television Title three-way match where Leo Rush defeated. I didn't pull J News back with me. Three-way match where Leo Rush won the championship by defeating AR Fox and Action Andretti. We had Red Velvet and Thunder Rosa defeat Lacey Lane and Viva Van. Micah defeated Diamante. We had a ROH World Title Tag Team Title match with La Flexion Ingranable. Listen, Sammy Guevara and the Beast Mortos defeated El Hijo del
Villano.
Villano,
Villano, yeah.
Villano,
Mhm.
and Villano the third Junior. It's crazy. AEW International Title match where Konosuke Takeshita defeat Lee Johnson. This is J News.
Takumi Iroha, the tag team partner of Sari in Spark Crush, yeah, she defeated Hyan.
Mike Bailey, Mystico, and the Outrunners of Truth and Torborg Floyd defeated RPG Vice, Rocky Romero, and Trent Beretta. They also defeated the Lethal Twist of Blake Christian and Jay Lethal. And last but not least, for the ROH Women's World Title match, Athena defeats Shuri. Shuri. Because I'm tongue tied today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a truth moment. Sister Kate, she has little spazzes. So, so you like, I heard you say that name last week. Why you can't do it this week? Listen, brain don't work like it used to. J News, did you see this and what did you feel about it?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid show. But the standout matches, the ROH World Television Title match between Lio Rush, AR Fox, and Nash and Andretti was a really, really good match. I was super surprised that it wasn't ruined for me. That Lio Rush actually ended up winning this particular match because the internet loves to ruin stuff for people, but this wasn't ruined for me at all. I came into watching this show, I believe it was a day later. I watched the show on Friday, and I was surprised that Lio Rush ended up winning. I'm happy for Lio Rush at the end of the day because he's getting this Black Heart character / gimmick over, and this continues that trend for him. But it was a terrific match for everybody involved. Lio Rush, AR Fox had a good TV title run, and Nash Andretti continues to build upon his ascension on the ROH side of things. Red Velvet and Thunder Rosa tag team this week against Lacey Lane and Viva Van. This was actually a really good tag match between all four ladies. Lacey Lane, not for nothing, she, ever since she's joined the ROH roster, I feel, this is my own personal opinion just from watching her, I feel like she's been going out of her way to make sure that she stands out in her matches and that she belongs on ROH / AEW, man. And I think she's been doing a real good job. Viva Van's been stepping up. It's the first time I've seen Thunder Rosa on ROH in quite some time, her teaming with Red Velvet. So that they all worked really, really well together in this tag match here. I was a little disappointed in the Micah versus Diamante match. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Micah's one of my favorites from Stardom and whatnot. Just wasn't the best match, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad match either. I just was I thought it could have been better. The La Facción Ingobernable match versus Los Villanos match, that was a match that was from the previous Friday show of CMLL, Viernes Espectaculares, which usually airs on CMLL's YouTube channel if you're a paying member, where La Facción defeated Los Villanos. I really couldn't get into that match for one reason or another. It was there. Not to say that it was bad, but I just couldn't get into the match for whatever reason. Takeshita versus Lee Johnson was a barn burner. Lee's really gotten a lot better ever since he's joined himself up with Blake Christian in the swirl, and then now being part of the Lethal Twist with Jay Lethal. You can just see the improvement in Lee Johnson, and in this match versus Konosuke Takeshita, he was able to take Takeshita to the limit, even in a loss. So shouts to Lee Johnson there, and Takeshita still being Takeshita. Takumi Iroha, man, this match versus Hyan. If Tony Khan said over the week, with Sari having her injury, that Sari would be welcomed back to AEW whenever she feels better and she gets medically cleared. Extend that olive branch to Takumi Iroha. This match right here, this young lady right here, representing the Marvelous brand over in Japan. Yo, she was impressive, man. And I've seen Takumi Iroha wrestle before, but for what she for the match that she had with Hyan on ROH TV. I thought was highly impressive. I think she made a good impression on the fans inside the arena and for whatever fans we're watching on Honor Club as well. So keep an eye out for her. Takumi Iroha does a lot of what they call, I guess you could just say independent work in Japan as well. She's not necessarily, she's signed to Marvelous, but Marvelous isn't necessarily one of the bigger women's brands in Japan. So you would probably see her have dates in different Japanese promotions from time to time, especially in her tag team with Sari. So keep an eye out on Takumi Iroha. She's fantastic, I thought. The multi-man tag match here between Mike Bailey, Mystico, and the Outrunners versus RPG Vice and the Lethal Twist. It was fun, but they ended the night the right way with Athena versus Shuri. Another banger match, another hard-hitting affair between those two. You can feel the angst yet and also the respect between these two during their match, and it definitely delivered. This is part of the ROH Global Wars show, which will continue this week on ROH TV as well. So we'll be seeing more of Shuri and other Japanese talents. I believe Hanako has a match this week, and other, like I said, other Japanese talents as well from the women's side as they have matches versus ROH wrestlers as well.
Yes. Time for J News to come back here with me. We're gonna go on to Collision, AEW Collision. AEW Collision, the first episode was 148 on the 13th on TBS. When Kenny Omega defeated the bad dude Tito. Shocker. I was just shocking. I mean, J News always had this argument because every time I see his name, I immediately think he's looking up at the lights. The Rascals, Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz defeated Aaron Atlas and Austin Atlas. We had the AEW TNT title match where Kevin Knight defeated Myron Reed. We had Athena defeating Tara James. We had the Dogs of Clark Carter and David Finlay defeat the Young Bucks of Matt and Nick Jackson. I used to love to see the Young Bucks, and now I'm beginning to be like, why are you still here? AEW TBS title Survival of the Fittest qualifying match. We had Persephone defeating Julia Hart. We had Jake Doyle defeating Mike Bailey. We had AEW TBS title match, title Survival of the Fittest qualifying match. Hikaru Shida defeating Zeta Steel. We had a Cincinnati street fight where the Death Riders of Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, John Moxley, Marina Shafir, and Pac defeated Shane Taylor Productions, Charlie Bravo, Lee Moriarty, Shane Taylor, Sean Dean, and Trish Adore. J News, what did you feel about this episode?
Justice for my main man, that bad dude Tito, yo. Like, what's going on? Why how you gonna have a squash match against Kenny Omega? That bad dude Tito deserves better at the end of the day. But whatever, we started.
He gonna be looking up at the lights. He might as well just go home a little quicker.
Nah, man, that's trash, man. Tito deserves better at the end of the day. But Kenny Omega started his feud with other members of TMDK here. Zack Sabre Jr. did not show up for this episode of Collision. He showed up for last night's episode of Collision and then this past week's episode of Dynamite. But he defeated Bad Dude Tito there. Then Kenny got on the mic on this episode of Collision and he basically called out Zack Sabre Jr. So there was that. The Rascals had their tag match versus two local talents. I'm going to leave it at that. Kevin Knight and Myron Reed went scorched earth in their match. Those two young men are a good representation of the future of professional wrestling, and they showed out during that AEW TNT title match. Good win and great showing for Myron Reed there against Kevin Knight. Athena defeated another local talent in Tiara James. That lady, Tiara James, had a very unique look to her, to say the least. She looked a little crazy. She beat up Athena quite a bit, so she got an opportunity to show her wares against Athena here in this match, which Athena is very she's very adept at doing that with newer and younger women's wrestling talent around the country, giving them an opportunity and giving them time to shine, especially in matches against her. And I will speak more about that when we get to yesterday's episode of Collision as well. As Athena continues to push the women's wrestling narrative across the board, not only in with her promotion, but on AEW and ROH as well. So shout out to Athena for continuing to do that, and for continuing to spotlight um, other women's wrestlers around the country and around the world, and giving them a chance to shine. The dogs defeated the Young Bucks here in a match. I was very surprised at the outcome of the match here, but they are trying to get the dogs to get some momentum going into Forbidden Door, as they will end up facing off against Cope and Christian at Forbidden Door. So that was a good look and a good match for them to have against the Young Bucks there. For the TBS title survival of the fittest match, uh, Persephone had a what ended up being a really good match with Julia Hart. To be honest, the first couple of minutes were not rough, but they were a little plodding. But then the ladies were able to pick it up and then turned it on. And it ended up being a really good match between Julia Hart and Persephone. There, Persephone getting the win over Julia Hart. I did want to say one thing in particular from my own preferential standpoint. I feel like the other girls in the TBS title survival of the fittest qualifying match were done a disservice. The week prior, there was a vignette, a video promo cut for 6 of the ladies who were going to be participating in the TBS Survival of the Fittest title qualifying matches. It was Persephone, it was Sheeta, it was Zeta Steele, it was Chris Statlander, and I believe also Harley Cameron were showed in that particular video. None of the other ladies were shown, and Queen Aminata as well. But none of the other ladies were shown in the video that were participating in the Survival of the Fittest qualifying matches. And I thought that was a disservice to the ladies. Like, Julia Hart was known to be participating in this, but she wasn't part of a video package. And there's other women as well who are part of this, which will come to me by the next episode of Collision. But I thought the other ladies who were part of the qualifying matches were done a disservice because they didn't get a video package, like the ladies I just mentioned. So I just wanted to put that out there. I thought that that would be a valid criticism to heap upon AEW and creative there. Jake Doyle and Mike Bailey, fantastic match between these two, man. The quickness and the agility of Mike Bailey versus the raw power and finesse of Jake Doyle made for a very entertaining and hard-hitting match. Sheeta defeated Zeta Steele, and then the Cincinnati Street Fight was just, it was fun. It was one of those, I wouldn't call it a party match because it ended up being a little bit more hardcore. There was a particular spot in the match where a velvet bag or a bag was taken out from under the ring, and there was glass and tacks and Legos, I think, that were put in the ring, and they had purposely taken Marina Shafir's wrestling boots and socks off, and they threw her barefoot into this glass and tacks, and she pulled off the only spot that Marina Shafir knows how to pull off, and she kept on stepping and smashing on the glass, and she did one of her fantastic front kicks through the shoulder of Trish Adora in this match. But it was a fun match nonetheless, and another solid episode of AEW Collision.
Yes, I saw it this morning and I enjoyed it too. Back in the back, does J News come with me? And we're gonna go on to yesterday's episode of AEW Collision on the 20th, episode 149 on TBS, where the Elite, Jack Perry, Matt and Nick Jackson, defeat the Lethal Twist of Blake Christian, Jay Lethal, and Lee Johnson. We had On Heart Foundation 2026 semifinal match where Maya World defeated Athena, where Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Adam Priest. With the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin defeating Warren Johnson and Zach Mason. We had Mystico defeating Dante Martin, Pop defeating Jay Alexander, and for the AEW TBS title Survival of the Fittest qualifying match, we had Chris Statlander defeating Mina Shirakawa. Hey, J News, what did you think of this? I enjoyed this show. I enjoyed the show the week before way more, but I enjoyed this show too.
I thought that yesterday's episode of Collision was a banger episode. It started with a hell of a match between the Elite and the Lethal Twist. The Lethal Twist getting a lot of TV time between ROH and AEW. That being Blake Christian, Jay Lethal, and Lee Johnson. Those guys should definitely be on regular AEW TV more often. Jack Perry, for those who weren't aware, because we didn't mention this during the newswire part of it, but Jack Perry had been mentioned during the week. Within the last week or two, that his contract with AEW was going to be expiring, and he was currently renegotiating. And he had been off TV for about a week or two. And just to confirm, at the end of the day, he came out this past Wednesday on Dynamite, which gave the indication that Jack Perry had re-signed with AEW, and that became official news over the weekend. So Jack Perry will be back with AEW for the foreseeable future. But great match between the Elite and the Lethal Twist. I said this to a friend of mine yesterday via text message. I felt like the women's Owen Hart semifinal match here between Maya World and Athena was a terrific match. And I mentioned how Maya World had to continue to finagle and mess with her wig throughout the match, because it was just a lot of extension hair added to it, and it kept on slipping, and she was always having to adjust. But the match itself was a terrific match. I felt like Athena here, and Maya World as well, wrestled with their hearts, to be completely honest. You can feel the emotion within the match itself. I also feel like I know that Tony Khan books the matches, but I feel like this was a match that was booked by Athena, based on the finish and based on how they wrestled this match, and how it ended. And the match itself was terrific. Athena and Maya World at the end of the match hugged it out. Then you had Mercedes Moné come down to the ring after Maya World won her match, just so to have that face-to-face confrontation. Maya World and Maya World and Mercedes at first had a mutual respect for one another. Maya World and Mercedes hugged it out. Obviously, Maya World going through her emotions and things of that nature due to what's been going on with her family as of late. And then when that happened, and they as in Athena and Mercedes Moné raised Maya World's hand, Athena and Mercedes Moné beat down Maya World. I thought that was a hell of an angle for them going forward. They healed it up. I thought that was excellently done to get more heat on Mercedes going into the Forbidden Door match, which is going to be Maya World versus Mercedes Moné for the women's Owen Hart Foundation final. Like I said, I thought the result was very surprising, because I was really expecting a one-on-one match between Athena and Mercedes for the final of the women's Owen, but in this case it's going to be Maya World, and they're going to give this young lady more time to shine and more time to prove herself. I did not get to watch the post-show promo from Maya World that seems to be buzzing on social media right now. So after I'm done here with Delores, I'm gonna take some time and watch that. And it seems that a lot of the fan base was very positive in terms of their reaction towards Maya World's post show promo. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Adam Priest was another banger match. Adam Priest always shows out when he gets TV time on Collision or Dynamite, and no different here versus Zack Sabre Jr. One hell of a match. Wanted to say that. I found it very interesting. With the Hurt Syndicate part here, they beat up local guys or whatever the case is. But MVP said something very interesting in a post-match promo, where he said that the Hurt Syndicate will not be going after any titles in AEW. I thought that to be very interesting, that they're basically just mercs for hire, and they're just there to be, I guess, hired for business and to hurt people, and they won't be going after titles. I thought that was a little, to me, that was a little bit off-putting. I would have liked to have
that
seen.
Was weird.
That was weird.
That was weird. How you come and you don't want championships and titles?
Yeah.
So you just there just to stomp it? You could do that anywhere. You could stomp people out of the street. Yeah. Why is it that it feels like they don't have no direction for them? So that's the reason why they stomping jobbers is because this is the excuse that they're gonna do. That's just like uh when a man hollers at a woman and she rejects him, and the first thing he said, "I didn't want your butt anyway." But you asked me for my phone number, sir. I didn't ask you for yours. Now you mad. So it's kind of saying like, oh well, we can't get the titles. We not gonna get no shots. So you know what? We just gonna go. We don't want them. That's a little weird.
Yeah,
And
I thought that
that's the
was
opposite of when they came in talking about they wanted to take championships and run through AEW. So now they don't want nothing. That's crazy.
it just like I said, it seems a bit weird. Hopefully they'll go back on that because that just doesn't make any sense to me at the end of the day. But it is what it is. There, Mystico and Dante Martin had a decent match. At the end of the day, they try to spotlight Dante Martin in this match versus Mystico. A couple of spots here and there that were a bit janky and whatnot, but they did their best. So it was a decent match nonetheless. Pac went up against a local guy at the end of the day there, and then Chris Statlander and Mina Shirakawa had a very very good match between the two of them. I didn't know what to call, like I didn't know who was going to come out victorious in this match versus Statlander and Mina Shirakawa, being that those two ladies were part of that initial Survival of the Fittest qualifying match video at the end of the day. So with Chris Statlander winning here, we have a Stat, Persephone, and why am I forgetting the third? So there's been three ladies so far who have gotten chosen for this or have won matches, their qualifying matches for the TBS Survival of the Fittest match, which will be happening on July 1st episode of Dynamite. You're muted, Delores.
There we go. I was like, no, it just popped up. As far as this episode again, highlight homegirl wig slipping. It was this. I think hers was worse than Jade because it's like it was her slipped throughout the whole match. Jade just had a moment in time. So, but again, ladies, this is a common service announcement. I don't have weave. Okay. Knock on wood, God gave me the ability to grow mine. But if you gonna do this, make sure you sew that thing down. Sew it into place. You can put it on and you can sew it in. Okay. They talk about it all the time. If you from the hood, if you sew it in tight enough, they can't take it because there's somebody who understand hood language. Sometimes we need a trophy for after we've dog walked you. And sometimes taking your hair is one of them. So that's why they sew it in tight. Make sure they don't get tight. That's what wrestling ladies need to learn. Sew it in tight. Okay? Lesson for today and Collision and SmackDown, sew it in tight. Now me and J News, we're going to go to the back. And I'm going to go on to TNA Wrestling. Boo. Matter of fact, I feel so bad about TNA from now on. Every time I say TNA, I'm going to do this. Yeah, because that's exactly what they deserve every time I see them. TNA, we're going to go episode 1143 on the 11th. TNA World Title match. Obviously, my man Mike Santana won, defeating Eric Young, who is questionable along with Mike leaving. So you have two questionable people in the match that might be leaving you. Because Mike, for a while now, J News was on NXT. The Mr. Elegance defeated Elijah, which was a dang on shame. J News. He beat this man in 11 seconds. Elijah. Have you seen Mr. Elegance?
No.
The shenanigans to make this 11 seconds should have never happened to this man. The System, Cedric Alexander and Eddie Edwards defeated Fabian Eichner, and Leon Slater. With Ali Marseille, Rosemary defeat the Elegance brand of Heather by Elegance, M by Elegance, uh, and M by Elegance. I don't know what I got to say. Also, if TNA do me a favor, break up this Elegance brand, okay? It's making me sick to the stomach. It's not even a good character. TNA International title match for this episode. Mustafa Ali defeated Casey Navarro. We're on to this week's version of TNA, episode 1144, where on the 18th, where Casey Navarro, Mike Santana, and Nick Nemeth defeated Order of Four, which is Jason Hodge, John Skyler, and Mustafa Ali. We had Ricky Sosa defeat Dak Draper. Indy Hartwell defeated Atlanta Black. And the System, Bear Bronson, Brian Myers, and Eddie Edwards defeated the Hardys of Jeff and Matt Hardy, along with Moose. On to a better show. Well, I'm not gonna say better. It was if I could rate them, MLW is before TNA. Okay, wait, like 2 steps before TNA. They just need the production and the boost and the opportunity that TNA had. Then they'll be great. We're gonna go on to last week's episode 197 of MLW Fusion, and it comes on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, we had the MLW Women's World Featherweight title match where a title change happened, where Shotzi Blackheart defeated Shoko Nakajima.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, listen, J News, I be learning sometimes. Mystico defeated Diego Hill for the MLW World Tag Team Title Tables match. The Skyscrapers of Bishop Dreyer and Donovan Dijak defeated the Good Brothers of Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. J News, do you watch MLW Fusion?
I do not.
I mean, they have good shows. It's on YouTube. It's for free. Next episode was this week, 198 on the 13th. We had the MLW World Middleweight title match where Kushida defeated Alan Angels. We had a Chicago street fight. Josh Bishop defeated Matthew Justice. And for the MLW World Heavyweight title match that ended in a no contest. Listen, I'm not the greatest outside of the ring fan of Matt Riddle, sometimes inside of the ring. But I for a moment, I'm not gonna say the whole match. For a moment, J News was enjoying this match between him and Killer Cross, and then I wanted to end in a no contest. So Killer Cross retains the title. Now we all going to the place you know I love the most. The most. It is GCW, ladies and gentlemen. It's Game Changer Wrestling. You know I love a little hardcore wrestling. And they had many shows in the past 2 weeks that I watched. We're going to start out with Cage of Survival 5. Cage of Survival 5 was on the 7th on Triller TV. As we all know, Triller TV is about to leave. So I got to find the next destination where GCW at, because that's where I'm going to be at. We have a 5-way scramble match. Tony Deppen defeated Cass, Logan, Ryan O'Neal, and Sal. Okay, we had for the GCW Tag Team Title match, Buster in the Brain, which is Alex Price and Jordan Oliver, retained the championship by defeating Charles Mason and Joey Janela. Marcus Mathers defeated Johnny Underwood. Tag Team Death Match, we had Dysfunction and Nick Gage. Jesus. Yes, that was dysfunction, and he is dysfunctional. Defeat Iceman and Jack Hart. We have for the GCW Ultraviolet title, Cage of a Survival match. Otis Cougar defeated Matt Tremont, Anakin Murphy, Connor Claxton, Dr. Redacted, Gabby Forza, Jameson Shook, Jeffrey John, Jimmy Lloyd, Little Sicko, Lucky 13, Masaka Masai, that's J News, Takeda, that's how you pronounce, and Viperous to win the championship. we are on to the next show, which is JCW. Which, if you are like Dolores, why is this under GCW? Because they work tandem together, and they also have got JCW onto Triller TV because of GCW. And so JCW had JCW Saturday night. Ladies and gentlemen, it was on the 13th on Triller TV. Marcus Mathers defeated Cass. We had Ray Jazz defeated Sal. We had Alex Price defeating Junie Underwood. We had Jordan Oliver defeating Gabby Forza. Leo Sparrow defeated Cheeseburger. We had Don Freeze defeating Darian Richardson. Jay Lucas, Jimmy Lloyd, and Neiman Brooks and Vinny Tola. We had the JCW title match with Charles Mason defeated Teriyaki. That hurt me. Okay. Now we're gonna go into JCW Race Against Time. GCW Race Against Time, ladies and gentlemen. It was a Race Against Time on the 19th, which was Friday. Also, happy Juneteenth to my brothers and sisters out there. Happy because I'm free and I'm free to do what I feel. Uh it was on Triller TV. Jeffrey John defeated Adam White, Bradley Prescott, Jay Lucas, Jordan, and Ryan O'Neal. Gary J defeated Junie Underwood. Priscilla Kelly defeated Jimmy Lloyd. I enjoyed that. Billy Starks and Busted in the Brain defeated Bang and Matthews, which is August May, and August Matthews and David Bang, along with Teriyaki. We had Dr. Redacted defeating Mad Dog Connolly. That man Hook defeated Joey Janela. For the GCW World Title match, we had Atticus Cougar defeating Aaron Williams. And for the GCW Ultraviolet title match, Otis Cougar kept his championship by defeating Anakin Murphy. On to another GCW show. It's called The Last Ones Left. Listen, we are the last ones left. And it took place on the yesterday. So I spent up late last night watching. On Triller TV, Hunter Drake defeated Jimmy Darren, Canyon, Logan, Maddox, and Victor Analog. We had Calvin Tankman out here doing the Lord's work, beating down people like he don't need to. Defeating Mad Dog Connolly. Priscilla Kelly defeated Joey Janela. I enjoyed that match. GCW Tag Team Title 4-Way match. The Buster in the Brain of Alex Price and Jordan Oliver defeated Bang and Matthews, Joni Underwood and Ryan O'Neal, and the top team of Jay Lucas and Teriyaki. We had BNDL48, ladies and gentlemen. Atticus Cougar and Otis Cougar defeating Violence is Forever, Dominic Gernari, and Kevin Koo. We had Anakin Murphy defeating Jimmy Lloyd. Shotzi Blackheart defeated Gringo Loco in a good match. And for the last match of the night, we had Dr. Redacted defeating Dale Patricks. Also, show that I loved over the weekend was HOG. And it was HOG Inferno because it was hot. We had Joe Alonzo defeating Joey Silver. We had Leo Rush. I enjoyed this match. Defeat Angel Jacquez, Jake Chris, JJ Doze, Mike G, Raheem Royal. We had a TNA International title match where Mustafa Ali defeated Rich Swann. We had Armageddon, which is Gringo Loco and Vendador defeating the dual forces of JJP and KB Prime. We had Ricky Sosa defeating Amazing Red. Still waiting on that man to retire. J News, I don't know when it's going. HOG women's title match. Shotzi Blackheart defeated Steph DeLander. Charles Mason defeated Nick Nimitz. We're on to another show that I love. Progress. Okay. Chapter 195, Wonder Brawl 2. It was on the 7th. Charles Crawley defeated Scott Oberman. Lolly, which is Holly Barlow and Lana Austin, defeated the Experience of L.A. Tyler and Scott Smithson. We had Nico and Angelo defeating Tom Falwell. We had Progress Atlas title match. Gene Mooney defeated Kuga. We had Theon, I never pronounced that man's name right, defeating Daz Black. Simon Miller defeated Nathan Black. We had Raven Creed defeating Melissa Fierce. And then the Progress Tag Team title match 0121, which is Drilla Maloney and Man Like DeReese, won the championship by defeating the Young Guns of Ethan Allen and Luke Jacobs. Ladies and gentlemen, we had the MLW show Summer of the Beast 2026. It was on the 12th. We had Akamura defeating Love Doug. Zamaya defeating Tiara James. With the Uppercut 2026 first round match, Matt Riddle defeated Mark Coffey. In the women's world featherweight title match, Shotzi Blackheart defeated Rena. Joe Coffey defeated Andrew Everett. We had Saya Kamatani defeat Lady Frost. In the second round match, we had Austin Aries defeat Trevor Lee. We had Josh Bishop defeat Rich. We had Wolfgang defeat Beastman. In the second round match, we had LeBron. How long they gonna let this man keep his name like this, J News? Let's take a bet. How long can he keep the name LeBron before the real LeBron come and say, "Hey, you're doing too much"? Defeating Diego Hill for the MLW middleweight title four-way match. Templario, as J News says, defeated Andrew Everett, Akamura, and Sabinato Jr. We had Brick Savage defeating Trevor Lee. In the second round match, we had Big Damo defeating Odyssey. We had a handicap match where Jumbo defeated, I cannot remember the other two people's names because they were irrelevant and they lost quickly. MLW World Heavyweight title match, Killer Cross defeated Donovan Dijak. We had a show for Wrestling Revolver, and it was Revolver, No Country for Old Men. Ladies and gentlemen, it was on the 12th on YouTube. Joe Alonzo defeated Steve Macklin. Killer Goat, Killer Kelly, and Myron Reed defeated the production of Derek Dillinger and Katie Arquette. Leo Rush defeated Damian Chambers. In a three-way elimination match, Ace Austin defeated Alan Angels and Jeffrey John. Revolver World title match, Manswater defeated Alex Colon. We had a title change for the Revolver 24/7 scrambled title. It was Crash defeating Big Pound and Dreadnought and Troy Parker. We had a Revolver World Tag Team title 6-man title match where Tyre Dye, J News Amenza, I forgot, I swear it's a different way you say it. KJ Reynolds, Ryan Mathis. You looking at it? Billy Starks defeated Billy Starks, Jake Chris, and Rich Swan. And then for the last match of the night, we did have a title change for the Revolver Remix title. It was a Dalton Street fight where Brent Oakley defeated BDE. Made me sad, J News. Made me sad. Now, this is where we're going to start with J News. But this time, we're going to start with a different company for J News. Because, ladies and gentlemen, CMLL, New Japan World, New Japan game together for Fantastica Mia, like J News said. But this is the Mexico version.
All right, so Fantastica Mania took place on the 19th of June, which was on Friday. For folks who want to catch Fantastica Mania, they can catch this on myaew.com. They have this up, and you can also catch it on the CMLL YouTube channel if it so behooves you. So to start off the event, we had Los Viajeros del Espacio, Futuro, Max Star, and Valiente Jr. defeat Los Demonios Samurais of Okumura and Yutani along with Shomakato. We then had CMLL Japan, the CMLL Japan women's title match, which had the champion India Sioux defeat Rena from Stardom. El Sky team of Máscara Dorada and Neon along with Templario, they defeated the Unbound Co's Robbie X, Taiji Ishimori, and Titan. For the CMLL World Tag Team title match, we had Los Hermanos Chavez, Angel Del Oro, and Niebla Roja. The champions, they retained their championships by defeating House of Torture members Dick Togo and Sonata. We then had El Fantasmo, ELP, defeat El Barbaro Cavernario. Hechicero and Konosuke Takeshita, they tagged in this match. They defeated Los Guerreros Laguneros of Gran Guerrero and Ultimo Guerrero. Post-match, Hechicero got the message from the DCF, the Don Callis family, that is, and he decided to beat down his tag team partner, Konosuke Takeshita, post-match here to make sure that Takeshita knew that things weren't all square, even in Mexico. And then to end the night, we have Blue Panther, Mystico, and Tiger Mask defeat Averno, Black Tiger, and Volador Jr. And that was Fantastica Mania on the 19th. We have the best of Super Junior 33. I think this is the last week that took place here. Block A had Francesco Kira, Jose Fujita, Jun Kasai, Daiki Nagai, Reyes Kitaguchi, Titan Valiente Jr., Master Wato, Nick Wayne, and Robbie X. Block B had El Desperado, Robbie Eagles, Yo, Taiji Ishimori, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Kushida, Daisuke Sasaki, Sho, Yo, and Jacob Austin Young. We had the show from the 7th of June. The Go-To Revolutionary Army of Hiroki Goto, Tetsuya Matsumoto, and Yoshihashi defeated Masatori Yasuda, Taisei Nakahara, and Tiger Mask. United Empire's Francesco Akira, Jake Lee, and Jacob Austin Young defeated El Fantasmo, Jado, and Shota Umino. 649 of Master Wato and Ryusuke Taguchi, along with Daisuke Sasaki, Nick Wayne, and Valiente Jr. Defeated Unbound Co's Daiki Nagai, Gato, Robbie X, Taiji Ishimori, and Titan. El Desperado and Hyo. They defeated House of Torture member Sho and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Kushida, Taichi, and Yu Uemura defeated TMDK's Harley Jackson, Robbie Eagles, and Ryohei Oiwa. Aaron Wolf, Jun Kasai, and Toru Yano, they defeated House of Torture members Dick Togo, Ren Narita, and Yujiro Takahashi. Unbound Co's Oscar, Yoda Suji, and Yuto Ice, they defeated the United Empire's Callum Newman, Great O'Khan, and Zane J. In the best of Super Junior 33 final match, we had Yo defeat Kosei Fujita. In quite the final there. Great match between Yo and Kosei Fujita, and Yo finally won the big one as he wins the best of Super Junior 33 final. We had New Japan Pro Wrestling versus DDT. This was a part 2 event taking part this year. This took part on the 8th of June. We had Hanada Kasai, the son of Jun Kasai, representing DDT. He went up against Tatsuya Matsumoto. That was a time limit draw, as they are both considered young lions for their respective brands. Tatsuya Matsumoto, the young lion from New Japan, they then went. Because it was the first time 3-minute time limit draw, and then they went to an extended match, and then Tatsuya Matsumoto ended up getting the win over Hanada Kasai for the Fluorescent Ippon Hell Tag Team match. Akito and Mao, representing DDT, they defeated El Desperado and Kushida, as they represented New Japan Pro Wrestling. In a blindfolded butt hiding Hell tag match, we had Ryusuke Taguchi and Yo, representing New Japan. They defeated Akito and Mao of DDT. We then had a Hell where you can only submit tag team match. Antonio Honda and Kazuki Hirata, representing DDT, had a match against Ryusuke Taguchi and Yo. That ended in a double submission. If your junior laughs at you, you lose senior death match. It was Hiroki Goto, the Goto Revolutionary Army, representing New Japan Pro Wrestling. He defeated Super Sasadango Machine of DDT. We then had the Weapon Rumble Hell match, which had Sanshiro Takagi of DDT going up against Toru Yano, and that ended in a no contest. We then have Konosuke Takeshita, who is signed to DDT and New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW. He defeated Super Sasadango Machine and Toru Yano in that match there. And then it was a 16-on-1 handicap match, which had Akito, Antonio Honda, Dashiko Dino, El Desperado, Hanada Kasai, Hiroki Goto, Kazuki Hirata, Konosuke Takeshita, Kushida, Mao, Masatori Yasuda, Ryusuke Taguchi, Super Sasadango Machine, Tatsuya Matsumoto, Toru Yano, and Yo defeat Sanshiro Takagi. And that was
ladies and gentlemen, I popped on because some of you all are like, did he just say butt and hell? And Yes, these when you get to DDT, you get to Goofy, okay? And if you all were with me, I don't know if it was on this channel or another channel, but I've talked about it on this channel. That during one of the WrestleMania, and no, it was during True Hill Heat. I was on a panel and they had never seen DDT. They only had saw uh Yoshiko the dog. They had never seen nothing else. And literally the match ended because everybody's head was in everybody's butt. And every referee ran out there, ended their head in somebody's butt. And the last referee was like, I'm not doing this. This match is going to end like this. But the first two had their pants down. And as you all know, the men at True Hill, he didn't like that, okay? They didn't know what they had got themselves into when they decided to cover DDT. And I told them from the beginning, J News, this is going to be out of y'all league. I think you had Romeo, Bees, it was like 2 or 3 other people. And they were in shock. I think, what's his name? I forgot his name. They were in shock, J News, whereas I was getting my kicks and giggles. Okay. So when it comes to DDT, I think Ruby has been up here for one of the DDT shows, and she has never seen DDT or wrestling like that, period. The fact that I was rooting for a doll, and when I mean doll, not like doll like a dolled up woman, I mean like a doll like a it's not moving Barbie type doll, life size, to beat this man, which I think it was it last year? Um, we call him Erda Grandpa. Because I can't say the M word. I'm on too many platforms now. It's hilarious. So if you've never seen a DDT show and you're not into the extreme, like, they'll have dolls wrestling, bears wrestling, head butt humor. That might not be the show you want to watch. But for me, I cover it because it's hilarious to me. Especially when you see a straight up like normal wrestler who is like normally hardcore or normally like up in age and don't want to do that type of stuff and they doing it. It's hilarious. But I'll let J News continue.
Going to be reporting on Dominion, which happened last Sunday in Osaka Joe Hall. We had the New Japan World Television Title match of Konosuke Takeshita, the champion. He defeated a returning Sonata. Come to find out during the airing of the show that Sonata is dealing with an injury that is very complicated. It is called what they call thoracic outlet syndrome, which has the ability to really it can impair and have a lot and bring a lot of pain to folks who suffer from it. It also it is also one of those injuries that isn't necessarily it's treatable, but at the end of the day, the treatments that they have for it aren't the greatest. You have to take out a rib and things of that nature, and it's very complicated and convoluted. It happens a lot in baseball to pitchers and stuff like that. It was very noticeable with Sonata when he came to the ring. He had a lot of atrophy. I believe it was to his right arm that it was happening to. So it's something that he's going to have to be able to manage going on forward with. I know that he had received some treatment for it just the previous week, as he posted a picture of him in a hospital bed during the week receiving treatment for this particular injury. So shout out to Sonata, man. Hopefully things improve, but I know that this particular kind of injury can only be managed and not necessarily be healed or solved. So shouts to Sonata for even taking the responsibility and risk to continue to wrestle with it. But Takeshita did retain his championship in what was an okay match. It wasn't Sonata's best, and I feel like Sonata going into the G1 isn't necessarily a good idea. I feel like he should maybe go through some more rehab and stuff like that, because he didn't look his greatest in the match here with Takeshita. So that's just my own personal opinion. He's going to do what he's going to do, but hopefully things do improve for Sonata and things don't get any worse. We then had a no DQ match where Jake Lee defeated El Phantasmo. That was via referee's decision. Tai Chi and Yuya Uemura were in a tag match versus TMDK of Ryohei Oiwa and Zack Sabre Jr. Uemura and Tai Chi won that match. El Desperado defeated Mystico in a special one-on-one encounter there for the never openweight title match. Aaron Wolf ended up defeating Ren Narita. That prompted a title change, so Aaron Wolf is yet again the never openweight champion by defeating Ren Narita. IWGP Tag Team title match. This was a complete surprise to me. As for the outcome, the United Empire's Great O'Khan and Hinare, they ended up defeating the Knockout Brothers of Oscar and Yuto Ice. Oscar and Yuto Ice, the Knockout Brothers, are basically New Japan's hottest act. And I understand from a storyline standpoint that the United Empire's team of Great O'Khan and Hinare never necessarily lost the tag team championships. But to take those championships off of the Knockout Brothers right now with the reception of their matches and how popular they are right now, I didn't think it was the best look. But New Japan's going to New Japan at the end of the day. So we'll see how that goes there. For the IWGP Global Heavyweight Title three-way match, fantastic match, by the way. Shota Umino defeated Andrade El Idolo and Drilla Maloney. Shota Umino now becomes the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion. Post-match, we had the returning Gabe Kidd, who came out and beat down Shota Umino, basically sending Shota Umino a message from the Death Riders, letting him know that he was never a Death Rider, even though he was John Moxley's young boy, and that he'll be coming for him in the G1, which then we got later on in the week, the special challenge from Pac towards Shota Umino, which will be at Forbidden Door. So Shota Umino now being the global heavyweight champion for New Japan, we'll be seeing Shota Umino probably travel to all the different brands and promotions around the world to defend that championship. So there's that. For the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Title match, the semi-main for the event, we had Yo defeating Doki. Thankfully, it was a decent match nonetheless. Doki hasn't been who he was prior to joining the House of Torture, and this was Yo's moment. So thankfully, the booking committee and creative over at New Japan went with the right guy. And then for the IWGP Heavyweight Title match, Yota Tsuji ended up reclaiming the IWGP Heavyweight Championship as he defeated Callum Newman. I'm not too sure if Callum Newman was just selling the shoulder injury or not. It looked like something did go wrong during the match and Callum got hurt. I'm not sure if it was always supposed to be a title change or not. I always thought it was. I always thought that was supposed to be the case, that Yota Tsuji was supposed to win the title back, but I'm not sure if Callum's actually hurt or not, specifically going into the G1 and that being the case in the next couple of weeks. So we'll see. He's got time to heal up a bit before the G1 starts, and we'll see as to where Callum ends up in the hierarchy of the main event scene in New Japan. But Yota Tsuji is back on top, and he's got version 4 again. And we'll see as to what Tsuji does in the G1 and how New Japan continues for the rest of the year of 2026. But that was the show at Dominion. New Japan Road to G1 Climax 36 show. I think this was a couple of days ago. We had a 2-on-1 handicap match. It was Harley Jackson defeating Taisei Nakahara and Tatsuya Matsumoto, the Young Lions. We had House of Torture members Showa and Shirobako Kanemaru. They defeated Master Yasuda and Master Wato. House of Torture members Doki, Ren Narita, and Yujiro Takahashi. They defeated Ryusuke Taguchi, Togi Makabe, and Toru Yano. Team DK's Kosei Fujita and Ryohei Oiwa. They defeated United Empire's Jake Lee and Jacob Austin Young. The Goto Revolutionary Army of Hiroki Goto, Yo, and Yoshihashi. They defeated Aaron Wolf Satoshi Kojima and Shota Umino. El Desperado, Tai Chi, and Yuya Uemura. They defeated the Unbound Codes, Gato, Oscar, and Yuto Ice. And then Unbound Codes, Daiki Nagai, Shingo Takagi, and Yota Tsuji. They defeated the United Empires, Great Khan, Hanare, and Zane J. We had the Blue Justice 18 show. This is the Yuji Nagata anniversary show that happens once a year from New Japan. This took place yesterday, I believe, yesterday in the morning. And we then have Tatsuya Matsumoto, Togi Makabe, and Toru Yano. They defeated Hiroshi Yamato, Satoshi Kojima, and Taisei Nakahara. House of Torture members Doki and Sho. They defeated Masatori Yasuda and Master Wato. Ryusuke Taguchi and Shota Umino. They defeated United Empires Jake Lee and Zane J. TMDK's Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, and Ryohei Oiwa. They defeated United Empires Great Khan, Hanare, and Jacob Austin Young. El Desperado, Tai Chi, and Yuya Uemura. They defeated the Unbound Codes, Daiki Nagai, Oscar, and Yuto Ice. The Goto Revolutionary Army of Hiroki Goto, Yo, and Yoshihashi. They defeated the Unbound Codes, Gato, Shingo Takagi, and Yota Tsuji. And then we had Aaron Wolf, Josh Barnett, and Yuji Nagata. They defeated House of Torture members Ren Narita, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Yujiro Takahashi.
Yes, you know what time it is. It's time for preview. Ladies and gentlemen, New Japan Pro Wrestling has started the show. New Japan Pro Wrestling Road to G1 Climax 36. We're going to start off. It actually was this morning. 2-on-1 handicap match. Hartley Jackson versus Yasuda. That's what it is. Nakahara. Huh?
Yeah. They had these are the young lions are in another handicap match today this morning versus Hartley Jackson. 6 or 9 of Master Wato and Ryusuke Taguchi go up against House of Torture members Doki and Sho. United Empires Jake Lee and Jacob Austin Young go up against Team DK members Kosei Fujita and Ryohei Oiwa. Aaron Wolf, Satoshi Kojima, and Shota Umino go up against Golden Revolutionary Army members Hiroki Goto, Tatsuya Matsumoto, and Yoshihashi. El Desperado, Tai Chi, and Yuya Uemura go up against Unbound Codes, Gato, Oscar, and Yuto Ice. The United Empires Great Khan, Hanare, and Zane J go up against Unbound Code members Daiki Nagai, Shingo Takagi, and Yota Tsuji. And then we have Toki Makabe, Toru Yano, and Yo go up against House of Torture members Ren Narita, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Yujiro Takahashi.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to one of my favorite companies, Wrestling Revolver, and they will be having a show, Wrestling Revolver and Battle Arts. It's called Canadian Vacation. Right now, there are no matches listed, so we'll just have to talk about it next week. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to WWE, and the first show that we're going to be talking about is Night of Champions, ladies and gentlemen, and I will be doing a watch along 1 p.m. Saturday for the Night of Champions, Eastern Standard Time. For the WWE Night of Champions, that's on the 27th, it's on ESPN. You have to have ESPN Unlimited if you're on the app. For the first 2 shows, I think they do on ESPN. The rest of it, they do on the app. The WWE United States title match is Trick Williams. Right now, we don't know who. Queen of the Ring, final match.
It's going to be Trick versus Ricky.
Ricky, yes. Yeah. I forgot. You know, I've been catching over 2 or 3 weeks of content because I didn't watch for 2 or 3 weeks. Io Sky versus...
It's going to be Io versus Liv.
And then Oba versus whoever wins. The men.
I think they got Oba versus... who was it that one? Is Oba versus Jay? Oba versus Jay.
Oba versus Jay. And then steel cage match because Jay won Friday. Steel cage match, Seth Rollins versus Brian Breaker will end the show. Ladies and gentlemen, GCW will be having a show. It's called America's Most Wanted. Okay? Bad Boys, what you want? Can't sing the whole song because you know. It'll be on the 27th on Triller TV. Nick Gage versus Starboy Charlie. Joey Janela versus Haley J. KJ Orso and Sam Stockhouse versus Cowboy Way of One Card Manders and Thomas Shear. Ray Ores and Vendedor versus Ares and Gringo Loco. For the GCW Tag Team title match, the Buster and the Brain versus the Butcher and the Blade. Yes, they are back. The Butcher and the Blade and the Butcher will be together, and I can't wait to see it. Vipers versus Slade, Leo Rush versus Shotzi Blackheart, GCW World Title match, Atticus Cougar versus Hook. This is gonna be a banger show. Then we got TNA. Oh Lord, TNA Slammiversary. Yeah, you'll see why I'm saying it. TNA X Division title Ultimate X match. We have Cedric Alexander versus Frankie Kazarian, Fabian Eichner, Leon Slater, and two other people. Ladder match. We have Elijah versus AJ Francis. Two people I could care less, especially AJ Francis. Eddie Edwards versus Moose. TNA International title match. Mustafa Ali versus somebody. TNA Knockouts World title match. We have the Elegance brand, Heather and M by Elegance versus two strangers. TNA World Tag Team title three-way match. We have the System, Bear Bronson and Brian Myers versus the Hardys, Jeff and Matt Hardy versus the Righteous of Dutch and Vincent. We have the TNA Knockout World title match, Lee Ying Lee versus Zaya Brookside. And for the TNA World title match, Mike Santana versus Nick Nemeth. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to AEW. AEW, CMLL, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Stardom will all be at Forbidden Door, ladies and gentlemen. Forbidden Door will take place on the 28th on your pay-per-view provider. We have the IWGP Global Heavyweight title match. Shota Umino versus Pac. We have AEW Women's title match. Thekla versus Starlight Kid. We have Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. We have the Owen Hart Foundation 2026 men's tournament final match. Shore Strickland versus Will Ospreay. The women's final match, we have Mercedes Monet versus Maya World. Hopefully she get to keep her wig. Also, these are two wig slipping people because Mercedes' wig has slipped off a couple of times. So we might see. AEW Continental title match, John Moxley versus Bandito. We have an AEW World title match where Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus the Dogs of Clark Connor and David Finlay. And then last but not least, we have a steel cage match of Darby Allin and Konosuke Takeshita and the conglomeration of Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong will go against the Don Callis family of Andre El Idolo, Jack Doyle, Kazuchika Okada, Kevin Knight, Kyle Fletcher, and that bad man MJF. GCW having a show. It's called Life of Crime. Listen, you got to do you was America Most Wanted. Now you got to do that time behind them boys, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, that's on the 28th. Starboy Charlie will face Mr. Danger. I hear. Sing it. Listen, it's been so long. GCW Tag Team title match, Buster and the Brain, Alex Price and Jordan Oliver will defend against BNDL48, Atticus and Otis Cougar. We have the Butcher and the Blade. Yes, they will be facing the Cowboy Way of One Kyle Manders and Thomas Shear. We have Haley J versus Book Havoc, Nick Gage and Slade versus Shotzi Blackheart and Vipers. My second show of the weekend, and it's on Sunday. It is the Great American Bash. Doop, 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 doop. Come on, y'all. It's like a video game. America's like a video game right now. That's how I made the thumbnail. Jason's gonna be like, why did she make it like a thumbnail? Yeah, I did. I made it like a thumbnail. It's on the 28th. It's at 7 p.m. on the CW. Shakur Sugars versus Deion Lennox. For the North American title, Miles Bourne versus Tavian Heights. For the women's title, Lola Vice versus Kendall Gray. And for the NXT title match, Tony D'Angelo versus Naraku. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end. We're going to go back to our studio. Because, it's time for J News. It's time. It's J News time. Okay? So make sure you show up for J News. Because, again, if you all are new here, to my Patreon listeners, to my Clock App people, okay? You know what I mean by Clock App. When you see that man right there, you need to go over to his channel. You see it in the corner. Janelle YFNMG. Okay? Right here if you need the QR code to all his socials. Okay? Go scan that QR code. Go over to his YouTube channel. You also get his link tree from there and go see him over there. And please, 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 because that's a good man, Savannah. And I hate to have to knock on your door and two piece in a biscuit you. Okay? Because I don't play about my J News. Okay? He is a great, wonderful man, and he deserves all the success in the world. J News, tell them a little bit about yourself.
All right, folks. Appreciate that, Dolores. So, for yeah, she's mentioned the QR code that has my socials on there, be it my Twitter or my Instagram and things of that nature. You can check me out there. You can also check out my link to my Letterboxd account, where I write reviews for the movies that I watch in the theater only. I don't really do much movie watching at home, so I do a lot of movie watching at the movie theater. I just came across some news that really made me happy about a couple of movies that'll be coming to one of my local art house theaters here in the month of July. So I'll probably be doing some reviews for those movies when the time comes. So look out for that. I should be back on True Heel Heat within the next couple of weeks, doing previews for the G1 Climax 36 brackets once they get fully hammered out and things of that nature. So look out for that. And as always, we'll be back here next Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If not next Sunday, as a matter of fact, because of all the events, next Sunday,
the following Sunday,
we'll be back the following Sunday after that, to review everything that had happened that particular weekend and stuff that's going to be happening this coming week. So appreciate everybody for watching as always. Thank y'all for chiming in the chat, and yeah, until next time.
Yes, everybody. Thank you, J News. Thank you. I so much appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna make myself big now. Listen, I'm already big. I don't even get no big. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, hi, I'm Delores. I'm just a pink girl in my pink world here on every social platform. Literally, we are live 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8 platforms we're live on right now because we gotta diversify, okay? I do designs. I help people with their business, their social media. I know some people out here because I've been on these streets. There has been a man he took the social media manager, that word, and trampled it into the ground. Not me, okay? I'm here to help you. So if you want to get in contact with me, you want to learn how to use Canva, AI, different things on the channel, make sure you please contact me. This is how you contact me. And for those who are wondering, Dolores, I know you just put your phone number on the internet. That is not my direct phone number, okay? Don't worry about it. I am safe. You know, I've had enough social media stalkers to know how to handle this. And I'm here to help you handle it too, okay? So make sure you please reach out to me, text me, call me, email me. Listen, I'm here. I can make your designs for you. Social media, I do. Listen, don't tell nobody I do crafts and stuff. But please, please check me out. Now, if you're new to the show and you saying, Dolores, I can't scan that small QR code, I got you. Okay. There you go. That's a big one with my little icon, my little pretty face in the middle. So make sure you please come check me out. Now, this is the part of the show where I started to share people who are very supportive of my channel. I got to get tag on here, but ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't checked out The Educated Natural, ladies, if you are somebody, you need somebody to talk to, just let your hair down. Every Friday, we meet up and talk and go through everything, okay? So, every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, we meet with The Educated Natural. We talk amongst women, work through things, figure out stuff, whether it's business, personal. Come in there and lay your hair down. And please check her out, theeducatednatural.com/women for the women's closet. Now, if you need business help, if you need website help, If you need any of these things, check out theeducatednatural.com. She got you. Listen. Also, she also has a YouTube. There's a lot of gems, a lot of videos for people who are just not starting a business. Please go check her out so much. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't, on YouTube, Just Gifted, she makes great gift baskets. Listen, I'm telling you, I saw her today before I came on. Them gift baskets, I was like, I'm gonna need me, give me about 6 of them, J News. And then somebody sponsored a basket yesterday where she gave away a $85 basket. Listen, she is truly living by the name Just Gifted. And what she says is be blessed or be a blessing. And she is definitely that. Ladies and gentlemen, a lady who I help manage and I love so much. She goes live on YouTube every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's Miss Shirley, the OG Gardener. And listen, she's out here giving out gems on how to grow your mind, your body, and your food. Listen, we talked about last Thursday about being prepared for storms. Listen, I learned different things from them. I've been so prepared. So please go check out Miss Shirley OG Gardner. I also manage a channel called Workhorse Wrestling Network. Listen, make sure you go on and gallop on over there to Workhorse Wrestling Network. They cover everything but WWE. So your girl covers WWE and they cover everything else, AEW and all. So make sure you go over check over there. They have Tuesdays is the cookout where you get together, you play games, and have fun like a regular cookout. You have Friday Night SmackDown. You have, I think it's Saturday, sometimes Sunday. You have the Winner's Circle where they talk AEW content. So make sure you go over there and check them out. Please, please, please. Ladies and gentlemen, but most of all, I need you to check out first, Saturday. It's already picked up. I did it last night. The watch along for the Night of Champions. It's 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Here with your girl Delores. We play games, we have fun. And depending on if your girl got a little extra coins from time to time, we do giveaways here and there. But come in, we all watching the same thing, talking about, discussing, and having a good time. Okay? Also, Sunday, the next day, it's the Great American Bash. Okay? My flag don't look the same as y'all because I don't feel the same way about it. But you know what? We're going to have a good time together. We're going to party. We're going to talk trash. We're going to play games. And we're going to have fun, okay? At the Great American Bash. Ladies and gentlemen, again, happy Father's Day to all the great fathers out there, great dads ever, best dads ever. And also shout out to the women who sometimes have to play dad. Also shout out to the dads who got to be a mom sometimes. Listen, sometimes we got to switch roles. We got to step in. And so I appreciate, when it comes to that, I appreciate you all doing what you do to better and grow the children out here for our future. But last but not least, it's the last day of my birthday week. Now, I celebrate my birthday all month, but this is the last day of my birthday week, okay? Gemini unite, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I've had the best birthday. I ate cake. I had fun. I interacted with you all, and it's been great. But the best birthday gift / Christmas gift that you all can give me is that by the end of the year, my wish is to make it to 600, okay? We're almost there, though. Let me see. We're going to see right now. Where am I at? I'm at 565 as today, okay? So 600 is coming close. And I appreciate each and every last one of you all who come in and do, have fun and get to know me. Hey, Undisputed LRG. Hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. Me, I'm about to bring J News back. Me and J News, we tag team, okay? J News sweep him in the leg and I come out the top row, J. Bow, right on top, okay? That's how we come. We out here swinging. So make sure you check out J News. Make sure you come and check out me. I'm going to be doing more content, okay? Tina talked me back to come in and do some more content. Okay. So for those who want AI, those who want to do other content, please check me out. I am going to if you check my link tree, about it, if it's not in there, it'll be in there by the end of the day. Publish my Patreon to you all. Okay. For those who don't know, that's the opportunity for you to do your own memberships, control your own stuff. Because here on YouTube, we don't really have that much control of our memberships. So I will probably be doing some content over there, some content here, and we'll be meshing it together. We'll have some classes because I will be back doing some webinars. We will do part 2 of the vision board party, where whatever you said you're going to do at the beginning of the year, we're going to see how far you got. We're going to do a mid-year check-in. J News, I think I've been doing pretty okay. I had some hiccups, but I don't pick it back up. Okay. So for those who don't know, at the end of the show, I like to act a what? Tina said, act a fool. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to say to you all is we've had such a great time. Such a great time. But again, every week we have such a great time to the point we be setting fires. J News is on fire. Burning. J News, I keep running in there every week and trying to figure out how can I put this out? And every week, all I can think of is if I cut the lights off. Cut off the lights. But don't light that candle, because listen, that's how we got messed up in the first place. Because you lit that candle, okay? To my people over on the Clock app, I appreciate you, but we got to let you go. So until then, me and J News going to say peace to you all. And now it's time to say peace to everybody else. Bye.